What is up, SmackNPie here, and welcome back to another Dark Deception and Five Nights at Freddy's videos. Now today we're discussing something that I honestly didn't even think about at all. So shout out to VGamers, he's posing a really fascinating theory that I would like to explain in my way a little bit, and that is of course the relationship between the story of Dark Deception and, unsurprisingly, hell. Like this wasn't obvious enough before. However, VGamer, I don't know your name, I would like to because that would make it less awkward next time I call your name. Anyways, he's proposing this theory of 9 circles of hell. Now what the freak is 9 circles of hell? Don't go into details. I went into them and trust me, you don't want to know. Basically, it's Dante's journey, who was an Italian poet born in 1265 and died in 1321. So we're basically 12th and 13th and 14th century. Anyways, it is the first part of his 14th century poem, Divine Comedy, and it tells the journey of Dante through hell, which are of course separated into 9 parts, aka 9 circles. Now that you know all the necessary information, shoot, I should start a Vsauce-esque channel but with games. Anyways, our good friend VGamer draws a concrete line between Dante's journey of hell and Doug's journey, of course Doug Hauser, the main protagonist, or as I would like to believe, the real antagonist in the story that he's going through in the Dark Deception. Beers mentioned this ballroom and this experience as purgatory, not really. A place where you're not dead, but not alive in the world where you used to live. So you're not here, but also not there. In a way, you're stuck in between. So if you follow this path, which we really shouldn't, it leads us to 9 portals that we are aware of, so to speak, with 10th portal being a mystery. Vince even mentioned that there are 9 portals known. What is the 10th? I don't know. So is it following the 9 circles of hell journey? Well, maybe. Let's break it down, see what we got. 9 circles of hell are divided into, of course, 9 circles: limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, of course extreme anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. Now these are quite self-explanatory, to be fair, and it seems like Doug's journey is going through all this, so to speak. But what is in return? What he's gonna get afterwards? It's not like he's gonna follow the footsteps of Dante. Well, his intentions are to right the wrongs of his life, right? Which means that each portal is the representation of each circle, which means that limbo, lust, and all these circles has something to do and might explain his past life even more. Connections to understand what's really going on. Now, I would like to learn more about this before I can say this circles belongs to this portal, but until I'm learning that, you guys could share your thoughts regarding this in the comments. But I do have an opposing theory to this. Is it really the replication of Dante's journey, or what if he's being lied to? What if we all being lied to? What if this isn't a purgatory? What if these portals aren't real? What if all of this doesn't exist? Okay, maybe that was too far, but what if Beers and Malak are lying to us? You might be thinking, why am I getting suspicious with both of them and their actions all of a sudden? Well, I might not agree totally with VGamer, but I do believe his theory, which was really fascinating, led me to some other side of the story, which is the real truth, in my opinion, of Doug's journey. What is that theory? Well, currently, I still need some time to process that. However, what I can say is that I'm really not believing anything Beers or Malak has to say. Try to see this from the other side. Try to explore this story from lens of the unknown. Why would Beers use us for really things that she could have easily got on her own? Why is this story about Beers taking control and power from Malak? Why all of a sudden a person who hates us, and he still does, is now telling us the quote-unquote truth about Beers? Why is there even a fight between Malak and Beers in the first place? Who is Beers? Who is Malak? What was their real thingy in the real world? Do we even know who they are or who they were before we died or before we got into this purgatory state? We do, and I will explain Beers and Doug in the near future. What is Dark Deception really trying to show here in this story? Because I feel like I got the answer. But do let me know your thoughts in the comment down below about this interesting take. I have some clean theories coming soon. I just wanted to highlight this really fascinating theory that he started. You can put each circle name like limbo, and in front of it you can type, okay, I believe this belongs to this with Doug's past life that he did this with this, etc. You get the point at this point now. But let's move on. Okay, so this is gonna be a quick one because it has to do with Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, and one of my favorites of all time, Matthew Patrick from the game Theorists. Recently, we've been getting a lot of teasers and trailers for a brand new Five Nights at Freddy's AR game. I'm sure most of you have heard about this one. However, there is something wrong with FNAF AR as a whole, something I can't seem to explain. You see, it's really cool that Illumix, the company behind this upcoming project, is really getting into the idea of Scott that these animatronics are now entering a new digital age, getting out from just being digital characters to fully functional killer robots out in the streets. It's great. Fantastic. But there is a problem here. You see, Matthew, from his recent FNAF video, mentioned that because of the new FNAF AR game and the recent FNAF VR Help Wanted, it seems like, in his opinion, that Scott Cawthon is telling us that all those previous events, Bite of 83, 87, all those events, in a way, never happened because it was all a cover-up, just like Tape Girl Dimension, my favorite, in Help Wanted. The thing that bugged me the most is that how can one tape, literally one tape, can override years of carefully executed storylines and storytelling? Well, it's because, in my opinion, it doesn't. But at the same time, it does in the other way, which is opposing towards what we're talking about. Who's to say Tape Girl is telling the truth? Who's to say that Glitchtrap didn't enter her body to record all of these tapes, making it seem like there's something fishy, but in reality, that is the fishy story here. They're trying to cover up the story by blatantly covering up this story. In other words, using fans' intelligence against them. Typical Scott. Which is why it is important for us to keep an eye out for FNAF AR. It had Freddy, for the first time ever, finally getting a voice in the new teaser. We got some hints, such as 1987, Bite of 87, FNAF 2 November teaser, and some other information. Also, Matthew ideas of FNAF World being canon, I feel like it's always been canon, in a way. We would have never known who Henry is before FNAF 6 if it wasn't for books, and nobody likes to connect books and games in FNAF universe, which leads us to games itself. And where else have we seen or talked about Henry other than books? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's FNAF World. What I'm trying to say here is that if this approach is to be accepted or agreed upon, we have to have some sort of evidence that, okay, Scott Cawthon has grown so much into the idea that his initial story that he wanted to tell, people would not accept that, and it happened before. So he's now trying to cover up those stories by saying, okay, those did not happen. Here's your new story. You're welcome. This needs a big discussion. So if you guys have any idea or information, like I'm still learning, let me know through them comments, and I'll cover this one and the previous Dark Deception video separately. I would also like to do some scientific and psychological explanation from the game itself, like Doug's character, Tammy Hauser's, that came out of nowhere's character, his wife's characters, Beers, Malak, and all of these monsters. There might be some scientific and psychological explanation behind all this, so if you want to know, you know what to do. Before I used to do this Dark Deception videos, I used to do character breakdown videos. I used to do psychology behind video games. Well, that did not happen. In a long run, it only happened for a few episodes, but I could use those and implement here in these videos and for this game specifically, since you just accept Dark Deception videos from the channel. Us in real world, to manipulate time, or in short, is time travel possible? Well, let's look at the facts of science and see how it works. For the start, let's understand what is a time travel. What do we mean by the term time travel? Well, if you take it literally, we are all time traveling as we speak. Time, let's say hours and minutes or even seconds, is like a journey, going from one place to another. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest of all time, developed a theory that can help us in understanding this and maybe help us in getting the answer that we need. He developed a theory called special relativity, which is basically a mashup of time and space, and Einstein theorized that these both are same thing, space-time, he said. He also said, so make sure to let me know if you guys are interested in those types of videos. I just like to experiment and try something different on the channel. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I waste my time then. Well, that would do it for this video. I know it was short and clean, but I have to keep up the daily grind out here. With that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care and peace.